who's opening? Why she gonna pull some stuff with? Oh, hey, she gonna start it this. Who's opening? Girl, you know who's opening. Go on and open yourself up and tell everybody what we doing tonight.
Welcome to Hot Topics Talk Radio TV. I'm Tony Breedlove. That beautiful lady is Miss Yvonne Baker, and of course, the ever popular Mr. Chris Smith.
Hello, ladies.
Chris.
Hello.
Good. Hey, y'all. But Chris, I have got to tell you.
What's going on?
Somebody I know that has a crush on you is so upset with you.
Oh my God.
I'm serious.
So what happened? Tell me, Yvonne. Look, I'm going to get a little closer. What did I do this time?
You. Oh.
Look, you see, I acted like I didn't care. No, what did I do this time, Miss Yvonne?
She heard you say you had a significant other, and she is so upset. She's like, I'm not watching the show anymore. I said, why? She said, because Chris hurt my heart. Oh.
I just want to tell her that I appreciate her for appreciating me. But I had to do what would make my life happy. And I just want her to know I'm very happy right now. So hopefully that doesn't stop you from watching the show. But I do appreciate the love. And like I said, send the messages on and you always gonna get the love back.
I wouldn't believe that.
But I'm happy.
If she's not watching, I'll tell her. But she's not gonna be happy.
Oh my gosh. Hey, Miss Jacqueline.
Hey, Jacqueline.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So tonight's show is courtesy of Miss Yvonne Baker.
You know she comes with them.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
you know, she sends like a list of shit, you know.
I'm gonna be honest with you. The moment I heard this topic, I said, here we go. This is gonna be a long night for me.
It's only an hour. How's it a long night?
Last week
because it's two strong women that I have to talk to for an hour. That don't sound intimidating.
Last night.
No.
I mean, last week was a long.
Last week was crazy.
Oh man.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm glad that I made y'all proud because y'all didn't even have to jump on me. Everything went through smooth. I said the right things, and we stayed on the right page all night.
You didn't say the right things, Chris. I'm sorry.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and
on with the show.
I just want to say, none of y'all had to argue with me the whole night. I was riding with y'all ladies. I saw the bullshit right from the beginning, and we stuck together as a team.
Hey, Western.
So for those who missed last week, you got to go back and check that show out. You have to, because it just went far left.
It did.
It did. It really did.
Over a half hour on that show.
Fellas, it wasn't one of our best nights.
Hey,
it wasn't your boy. I held it down to make sure that we looked somewhat civilized.
Yo, you know what? Chris was going back and forth. He was with the guest, and he was with us, and he was with the guest, and he was trying to burn it on both ends. You can't do that.
You gotta understand. You gotta understand, Yvonne. I'm still a man at the end of the day. If I turn my back on the men, what they gonna say?
This ain't got nothing to do with your manhood, Chris.
Oh,
it got everything to do with my manhood. It's a code.
Hey, Brandon. Hey, Brandon, that's your baby, Miss Yvonne.
Brandon.
Oh my gosh. And Jacqueline says, yeah, that was crazy last week. Glad that I watched it in the replay. Wow. That was a first for us, where someone came on and said, you know, that's why he doesn't take
nothing, but I'm playing.
I think I turned 50 Shades of Red.
You did.
Yvonne, you were getting ready to tear him a new one. But the thing was,
if I could have jumped through this iPad at him, jumped in there and choked his butt.
But see, the best thing about it was that person did what they did. They embarrassed themselves because they couldn't stand behind their words. So before we even start this show, let's get this clear. Let's go and lay it out there so that way you understand. This is fun and games, but at the same time, if you're going to make some statements, make sure you can stand behind your words because you just look plain ignorant. And I said ignorant, not ignorant. Ignorant.
But it wasn't even that he was not standing behind the words. He came on after he said that bullshit, talking about, oh, I was just playing. I'm like,
Oh,
tell me you ain't never seen a smoother moonwalk. Hey, did he do it?
yeah, I did.
What did he do it? Yes, he
but
will.
won't he do it? He knew he was going to get his ass toe up. That's what that was. But he still did because I think we let him have it anyway.
Nah, you guys took it easy on him because he brushed his hair. You got to remember, my man said he needed to brush his hair before he came on.
I didn't know it was brushed.
It was in a bit. So tonight's show, what are we discussing, Tony? You ain't gonna just shoot on the man's hair like that, Tony.
So tonight's show, the topic is tired of playing the man's role. And Yvonne brought this to the table for us in her very long list of topics.
Well, we haven't last for a couple of months.
Right? You've been saving up.
That's been off.
Hey, I just want to know how many of them are not man-hating?
They're not man-hating.
Who?
Is this one? Is this one man-hating?
No.
Fellas, strap your seatbelts in. It's gonna be a long night.
Chris, why would you think
I know
suggest a topic that was man-hating?
I'm gonna be honest with you. The moment you said I'm tired of doing a man's work, it told me then and there, this is gonna be a night where I have to do a lot of defending.
Put the topic up there, Tony, so he can see what it is.
It's scrolling. It's scrolling. Tonight's topic.
Right there.
Tired of playing the man's role.
The moment I heard that, I said it's gonna be a defensive night tonight. I'm like the Lakers. I'm on the court.
No. Only if you make it defensive.
I know.
Okay, well,
and so
let's start. Hey, so let's start it off. Yvonne, you beautiful thing, you. Please explain to me what inspired you to come up with this topic tonight.
Uh-oh.
You won't hear it.
See, what happened was.
I can't wait to hear.
No. Okay, let's just get on with the topic. We don't need
That's what we're doing. So what inspired this topic? What made you want to talk about this?
Let's talk about it. We're already behind time.
12 minutes.
Okay. So to get an understanding of where you're coming from, since it's not a man-hating topic, what do you mean as far as tired of playing a man's role?
Okay, so you have women that are with significant others.
Right.
And you have, whether they're married or living together or dating or whatever. And it seems like the woman she's working her fingers to the bone. She's working 1-2 jobs. She's bringing home the bacon and she's cooking it up too, while the man is leisurely sitting around looking like what's that man's name with his hands in his pants?
Bundy.
Al
Bundy.
Okay. Referencing the man that actually was working. Okay.
And want to know, hey baby, what's for dinner? So, but we got to take the trash out. We got to take take care of the kids. We got to give the kids a bath. But it's the I guess the basis of this is that there are too many women that are single married. They're taking that we have so much to do in a relationship until we could be by ourselves. What do we need to have? And I'm not bashing man. I'm not bashing them. They are good at something.
Oh no.
But
Oh no. It sounds
Well, it
a little suspect
depends.
to me.
It depends.
It sounds a little suspect to me.
Hey,
Hold on, let me take a sip.
you know what? It's getting to a point where that isn't even necessary.
Mm-hmm. Now, Yvonne.
Anyway,
Now,
but,
Yvonne.
no, but
Go
you know, it's okay. And let me, because I was talking to Brandon about this earlier.
Okay.
So it's like when I was in a relationship with their dad. I'd ask him, I'm like, okay, can you change the oil in the car?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Never got changed. 3 or 4 times. When you gonna change the oil in the car? Take it and get it done. So that's what I learned how to change the oil in the car.
Mm-hmm.
I learned how to change a flat tire because he wouldn't change the flat tire. I asked him to put the baby bed together before the baby came home. He wouldn't do that. So my thing is, what is it that we need to have a man in the house for if we're playing the man's role?
Now, Tony.
How did I get called on this?
Tony, you already know. Here we go. See, now
It's
Yvonne.
on and popping.
Miss Yvonne.
Yes.
The boss of all Yvonnes.
Of all Yvonnes.
You have been wired to be a very strong woman. You have been wired to not really have to depend on a man. You will give him that, but if he doesn't do his job, you will step in and do what you need to do.
Well, you don't have a choice.
Right.
And
why you arguing with me like as if I don't agree? I'm not agreeing with that. I'm agreeing with that.
Okay. All right.
But this is the problem that I have with that statement. See,
Uh-oh.
I also was a married man. And let me explain something to you.
Uh-oh.
When you made that statement right there, and this is typical for most women,
Hi, Veronica.
especially black women, we tend to internalize our situations and put them out on everybody else. So if this man did, and hold on, now see, the funny thing is you're shaking your head, both of y'all shaking your heads. Now, you just made that statement right there, then ask, what is the point of having a man if we have to do all of this? But Tony, I am that man.
Well, wait a minute.
Okay, but
wait a minute. Who said that the statement was put out on everyone else? That's not what she said. I don't think that's what she implied.
What you have to understand is that this topic is referencing women having to take control over other men's jobs because they're not doing it. And there are a lot of men that handle their business. So what I was doing was listening to what she said, hearing how she came up with this topic, and saying, so there are not a lot of women that are experiencing that. But then again, I could be wrong because I haven't done the research on that. But all I will say is that for the people that I know in my life, I've never known a woman that has to bring home the bacon. She's doing everything in the house. To be honest with you, she's the fool if she's the one doing it because she got herself a no good man.
Exactly.
So why are we not tearing her down for not understanding the situations that she put herself in versus tearing down this no good man who chooses to be that way?
So you know what I told Brandon when he and I were talking about this topic today. I said, women, and I'm not saying all women. Let's get this straight from the gate. I'm not saying all women. I'm not saying all men.
Yeah.
I am saying if the shoe fits, then they won't wear it.
Right.
But we as women, we tend to have blinders on. We see that the men are not living up to their responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
But we tend, because we're so in love, that we don't see their shortcomings.
Right.
We do everything that we can in order to please this man.
Okay. One thing.
Right.
So when we talk about shortcomings of a man not doing what they're supposed to do, shouldn't we have known that before we get that deep and that heavy?
We should, but like I said,
I didn't say that for you, Chris.
All I'm saying is you said it and I didn't have to say it. She made an excuse for women. Well, we be in love. And then we got our blinders on.
I've had blinders on. Because I thought that this man was my soulmate.
Right.
The love of my life. We've had 2 kids together.
Right.
We're supposed to be getting married and the whole 9, but he didn't do a darn thing around the house.
But I'll be honest with you, and it's kind of one of those things I know you ladies will agree with. As we've gotten older, our decision making has gotten better. So we had to grow to understand what we were looking for, what we wanted, what we weren't going to put up with. So we had to make those mistakes to get to this point to really understand what we're looking for. And in a situation like this, I would say, of course, shame on the man. But at the same time, shame on the woman. And the reason why shame on the woman is because some of these signs that were there, you chose not to pay attention to. And some of the questions that you should have asked, you didn't ask. I'll be honest with you. And me and my father had this conversation earlier today. Men are messed up. And I'm going to tell you why we're messed up. We don't come up with values and standards that we have to live by. Yeah, we might have some of us that say, okay, yeah, you need to open the door for a woman or let a woman go first and all that kind of stuff. But the teaching that you get that us men typically don't get is to love yourself, value yourself, appreciate yourself. No woman deserves you. Those aren't the kind of things that are taught to men. And the funny thing is those things are taught to you and you expect men to respect that and understand that. But they don't have no guidance.
Hold on. Because in a lot of cases, I think men have been given those tools. However, they have taken it to a point where they have now disengaged themselves. Because like you said, no woman deserves me. Well, okay, that's fine. You can say that if that's what you feel.
Kind of comment.
Okay, and I agree with that. But I think that a lot of men today take it to a point where they have been told that, they are worthy of loving themselves. Okay. And everybody should be taught that, but they take it to a level where they mistreat or they misuse others because they have that level of arrogance that you can't cut through with a knife.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you, Tony. I'm going to be honest with you. I've asked over 20 men that have kids if these are the values that they have taught their sons. And I don't mean kids, I mean men that have sons. If these are the teachings that they have. And they said no. And like I said, I'm not going to say because of the men that I have talked to that stands for all men. But what I'm explaining to you is as far as valuing your body, knowing that you shouldn't lay with just any woman because you're special. She has to be worthy to have that. Those type of things aren't being empowered and instilled in young men. And that's the reason why a lot of young women are getting hurt, because there's great teaching or some teaching or none or no teaching with this girl. And this boy is just pretty much just operating off of anything. And I'll be honest with you, most men can have sex and not think nothing of it. Whereas as you get older, as a man, what you should understand is every time you lay with a woman, you take a piece of her. There's a part of her that you take away, and you can't give that back if you don't fully give yourself to her.
Okay.
Look, I shut that down. Look.
No, you didn't. Hi, Lajifa.
Hey, that's the first time I ain't never had you hear something say nothing.
You know what?
Hey, Steph. Hey, Angie.
I have 3 boys. And I ain't saying they're perfect, but they're not deadbeat men.
Right.
They take care of their home. They take care of their business. And like Brandon was saying, he said, I can't respond. Stop that, Tony. I can't respond.
What's going on?
I was yawning.
Yeah.
Long day.
She always do that every week.
I'm sorry.
I think maybe we're boring her.
So Yvonne, look, I'm right here with you. What was you saying?
So, Brandon was saying, he said, well, I can't comment on that because I do what I'm supposed to do at home.
Right.
You know, he goes out every day. He goes to work. He comes home. He goes to the store. Hell, he even goes to the store and buy women's things.
He's
I'm
in a
like,
house full of women.
yeah, but how many men will not? Okay, there are men that will not go to the store, and they'll go to the store, but they won't go to that section.
Okay, so I'm
But
gonna tell you something. And I think within the generation of what you ladies were probably dealing with, you dealt with that a lot more then than it is now. I'll be honest with you. I have many male friends that are fathers, and they're all great fathers. I can't tell you not one of my friends, whether they're not my friend anymore or not, I can't name not one guy that I know that is a father that does not take care of their kids. It seems like this generation has changed a little bit.
Right, but I have to agree with you on that because you find more men now more engaged
yes,
with their in the family unit. And I'm going to say maybe it ranges from the late 20s to late 30s. But the men that were in, say, our age group, our era,
the Rolling Stones,
those are the ones that grew up watching Superfly and the Mac and shit like that, that black exploitation show. So that's the way they thought that you treat a woman. Right. A lot of them did. I mean, that's the way I equate where we are right now. I think that's why we have more women, say our age, that are struggling to, I'm not going to say find a relationship, but find themselves in a relationship and it be a long lasting relationship. Because now you've got men who have, like I said, grown up in that era. That was the cool thing. I want to be Goldie, that kind of shit. Yeah. And they don't know how to treat women. And now they've gotten to an age where they're so settled in their ways, you can't pry them away from their ways with a crowbar.
Right. And I'll be honest with you, looking at Jacqueline's comment,
I had that put up.
I'll be honest with you, that's what's also caused a lot of confusion on what men should be doing and not doing. I mean, I'll be honest with you, with the things that I got from my mother and my father, I just hold on to those and I continue to do that regardless of what. And like I said, trust me, I ran into plenty of issues even with my girl when it came to opening the door, and you don't need to open no door. And she's like, God dang it, I got it, because she's a strong woman. She's like, I don't need nobody to do nothing for me. But I had to tell her, it's not about you needing me to do something for you. It's about me allowing you to understand who you are, how special you are, and how you should be treated. Exactly. One thing that I always try to tell women nowadays is you need to understand how you should be treated. But
I think that, you know what, because like with Jacqueline's comment, about the feminist movement, the feminist movement, I think, has really distorted how a lot of women live.
Right.
Okay, it's distorted because the feminist movement actually was supposed to have been about equal pay.
Right.
Then they kept upping the ante, to a point where you had women burning their bras. So not only is it equal pay, but we want to be in the jobs like men have. We want to be in the army on the front line.
And
we want to drive heavy machinery, and we want to. You have the right to hold on. You have a right to do any profession you wish to do. However, there still is that line where it says there are gender roles.
Right.
Just because you drive a tractor trailer, a bus, or an 18-wheeler truck doesn't mean that now you're no longer a woman.
That's right.
But let me tell you something.
I have driven all those.
Exactly.
But let me tell you something. Women are not equipped to do every job, just like a man is not equipped to do every job himself. I feel like,
and I didn't say, but some women think that they are.
Yes, and I hear that, but I'll tell you like this, and this is what I always tell people. We got to understand that no matter what, it's always going to be a double standard society. So the reason and how the way I pointed out is the same way you would expect a man to open the door for you is the same way that we should understand how certain situations play out. That's just the way it's been. Now,
give me an example.
Okay, like I'll give you an example. As far as back in the day, they didn't used to have women police officers, and what their whole reasoning for it was is they felt like if you're confronted with a large, strong male, there's no way that you're going to be able to subdue this person. At the end of the day, everybody's working out, everybody's doing their own thing. So, of course, you got to change those rules. But at the end of the day, I don't think that if a woman is not equipped to do that job, she shouldn't be doing it. And I don't think that we should call that feminist movement right away because, oh, well, she was hated on because of her size or blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, sometimes we just have to understand certain things are the way that they are because that's the way that it is. If you're not tall enough, strong enough, then no, you should not be in a role like that. Because guess what? If something happens to you, then what are we going to say? They're going to ask, why was this person even in this situation? And I use that with a woman, but I even mean that with a male. If you're not equipped for that situation, you should not be in it. And I think that people have to make those decisions, and we shouldn't be so quick to throw the card up because it was a woman.
Right. So Alan, hey, Alan Strother. Author, Alan.
Author, yeah.
You got to put that out there. Don't short that. Don't do that.
So Alan says the feminist movement has always lacked the balance needed to promote admiration and understanding between men and women, and I agree with that.
I agree.
Because there is a total imbalance. You know, it was imbalanced when it first hit the scene. Because you had these women who were, out there carrying the picket signs and burning the bras and vying for, I'm an equal. When you're not an equal in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
So, you have to be very, very specific as to say, I'm an equal. No, you're not an equal. There's no way that you could be equal. Do you deserve equal pay for the same job that a man is doing?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Don't dumb me down simply because, I have hormones and you have testosterone.
Well, and that's the problem, because what happens is, like you said, should a woman get paid for the same as another person a man in that position? Of course. But then what happens is we focus on that, and then we allow that to take over every other thing within this, and that's where everything gets lost.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you this, both of you guys this. So in the average household, okay, like Yvonne had mentioned that, back in the day, her ex-husband was not fulfilling, some of the duties of the household.
Right.
If that's the case, then why didn't he holler the feminist movement? Why now are we talking so much about the feminist movement? Is there a greater awareness and the capitulation?
I think it is. We a lot of women that were back then have come into their own, and they're not taking that kind of, I'm not going to say abuse, but that kind of, they're not going to be put in that type of situation where they're doing everything and the man just sits back and do nothing.
So why is it so hard for women to then recognize? Do they recognize it, or why is it hard for them to recognize it when they're already in a relationship or in a marriage where they are carrying the load?
Answer that without an excuse.
Who?
For women, I mean. You asked why is it that they can sit back and they can deal with that?
Why? Not so much to deal with it, because some women they really don't recognize it.
They really don't. And at first I didn't. And I'm being
Chris, you're giving us that look.
I did not.
They don't.
I thought, okay, well,
Yvonne, you said it yourself. Yvonne, you said it yourself. You asked for your oil to be changed. And if you asked for that, obviously you knew that a man should be doing that. So the fact that you kept having to do that, you knew.
Chris, you can't tell me what I was thinking. At that point, I was not aware of this. It really didn't occur to me. All I did was, okay, well, F you, Yeah. So it's just, then I just went and did it. There was no second thoughts. There was no thinking about it. I just did it because it had to be done.
So when the light bulb went off, that you were doing things that not only were inside the household domestically, domestic care of the home, but you were also doing things that you would consider him to do, like take the trash out, get the cars serviced, or go out in the garage and change the oil, or those kind of things. Take care of the garage, sweep it down and all this. When the light bulb went off, what was it? What made that light bulb go off?
So my best friend, her husband, I would look at that was my go-to. When I got fed up at home, on the weekend we hang out, and I would watch her husband. He would, he was the husband. He was the father. He was both of them. They were outside.
He was it.
Yeah, he was the bomb.
You go, boy.
And he put up with all her stuff. So, and I'm like, well, why is it he doing this? And then my eyes started opening. This was towards the end, and that's what my eyes started opening. And I'm like, okay, well, but then you have to realize too, and I think I mentioned this in past shows, is that we really didn't live together. He lived somewhere else. We bought a house. I lived in the house. So, but when he was there, he did absolutely nothing.
Well, let me ask you a question, both of you ladies. So did we just establish tonight that oil changes should be done by men?
No. Not necessarily, no. There's too many mechanics.
Okay. So then my question now is, so why did we now start equating and saying that this man should have been doing it? Now, I'm only saying that because you brought it up and you said, I asked him to do it, he didn't do it. And
this isn't an exact fact.
I understand that.
It's just something that it's a reference to what happened with me.
Right. Me. But what you have to understand is when I'm asking these questions, like I'm looking at it like there's probably other women that are experiencing this same situation. So what I'm asking is, when you seen that he didn't do that and you just went on and took care of it, you do understand that you now made that how your relationship works. I'm gonna explain something to you.
And then after that, I wanna ask a question. I want to ask a serious question after you make your point.
So this is the thing. I've always said this was the biggest mistake I ever made in my first marriage. And I'll tell you why. When I started watching what other people are doing, how they take care of their man, how they take care of their woman, that was the biggest mistake that I made. Because guess what? What goes on in our house is what we've established. That's why we don't argue. That's why we don't have no problems, because this is what we've gotten comfortable with. But the moment we see something else somewhere else, that's when we get to talking. That's when we start making our comments and opinions. And that other person is like, well, where are you coming from with this? We've been doing it like this. And you basically shook up the surface, and it was because of you. It's not because of him, because he's gotten comfortable with what you do.
But see, okay, so a lot of things I don't discuss my personal business with other people.
Right.
But it's until I start doing this show.
Hey, right? To put so much stuff out here, okay.
Right.
But I am, and I have always been very observant. I watch and I see things, and I've always been that way. And it just, when I see things, I didn't comment about it. I didn't ask her, well, why is he doing this, or why is he doing that? It was like, well, when I see him doing this, but when he comes home, he don't do nothing. He goes out there in the garage, screwing on these little things on the car and fixing his cars up.
But yet you didn't see anything wrong with your man until you saw that.
Because my question would be, is that would you at that point, well, then I had another question, but at that point, when you observe someone else, did you consider the relationship abnormal and them normal, or vice versa?
No, I thought that was normal. You have to realize too, I have a father, and he was doing the same thing that I saw my friend's husband doing. Right. And it was not that I was ignorant to the fact. It was just I had blinders on
Hmm.
because
I wouldn't say that
I
you have
wasn't.
blinders.
Yeah, I had blinders on. Like I
Well,
said,
that's the thing,
I'm
Yvonne.
observant. I am observant.
But you're very
But
strong as well. You're very independent. And one thing I'll tell you about yourself is you didn't see it as a big problem because what you said is, okay, if it's not going to be done, I'm going to do it myself. And you didn't have a problem with that. But the problem is there are
well,
some men that take advantage of that. And you had a man that took advantage of it.
they took advantage of it. Yes.
Right.
So I'm going to put Alan's comment back up. Okay. Because I actually formed a thought in my head when I saw it.
Good boy.
Alan says we have our roles, do them well and with love, and most relationships will run pretty smoothly. Okay. So with that comment, I'm going to ask you guys, and I'm going to do it in the reverse. So, Chris, what is the woman's role?
It's complicated nowadays, but in my eyes, and I will say just in my eyes, not all men, my eyes, a woman's role is to maintain a household. That means it's kept up neatly, it's organized to her standards with the support of us. There's meals that are cooked, pretty much throughout the week. Laundry and all that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff, like I said, that can be hit and miss with some people, but laundry should be done, whether it's just her or support from her man. I just honestly feel like the house is home base for a woman, whether she has a job or not.
Okay.
She is the head. And I won't say the head because it's kind of funny. The man is the head of the household, but at the end of the day, the woman is the one that makes all the real, like, and it's, damn, I'm trying to say this without screwing it up.
She's the mechanic of the household.
Yes, she is pretty much organizing and running the things while the man is pretty much sitting there and not allowing it, but pretty much, it's like I said, it's a partnership. I honestly think that the household is just really ran by the woman. She's the one that really lays the foundation down.
Okay, so hold that thought. So, Yvonne, what is the man's role?
A man's role is to provide, protect, and please. And a man. So if you have the man is, whether the woman's out there working or not, the man is the provider of the house. He's the head, and he's to go out and make a living, bring it, help take care of the bills. The woman, he gives the woman the money, she pays the bills, whether it's united or just separate, and protect, make sure that his family is safe. To just,
Hey, why you didn't say the most important one?
What?
Lay that pipe and make sure you ain't going nowhere.
Well,
come on, girl. Don't act like you ain't.
I mean, so be quiet, Chris. So
come on, it wouldn't be me if I didn't get that started.
Yeah, we know.
I knew you were gonna come with it somehow.
Come on.
And there it was. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Tony, what did I
But wait, because I wasn't finished. Because what I heard you say is he's there to provide and protect and be the head of the household.
Please.
But and to please lay pipe.
Lay pipe.
How
we want to put it.
They got Yvonne started now. You go, girl. Keep it going.
So, but what I'm not hearing is that now, even if he is doing those things, break it down for me. Because like what Chris was saying is that in the household, the laundry, the this, the that. Now, provide and protect is huge. It's wide. It's very vague. Yeah. So if you're taking care of the home, what should he be doing?
He should actually, really, honestly, I think the man should help to do things around the house. It's 50-50, so, on the weekend, because if we're both working, we're tired. Now, if the woman is not working, she should be doing 60%, 70% of the household, whatever's supposed to be done in the house. He comes in and, if helps do the laundry or cook. I think that should be either a shared thing that you do together. I don't want no man washing clothes.
But I'll be honest with you, and this is something that a lot of women.
All your whites will be pink.
Yeah,
but this is something that a lot of women don't know. There are some mothers that don't teach their sons this type of stuff. I know guys that have never washed their clothes a day in their life. So they do depend on their woman to do that. And where some women might say, no, my husband helps. It's a big load. We got a full family. We all need to get involved and we need to get in. But you have to understand, there are some men that don't get some of this teaching.
But wait a minute. So just because as a child through adulthood, he wasn't taught that by his mother or father does not mean that he cannot be taught when he comes into a home with a woman and children.
Yeah, I mean, if he's living by
if he's living there.
Yeah, but come on, let's be truthful, ladies. Let's be truthful. You find out the man doesn't know how to do laundry, and what your ass do? You take all that laundry in there, you get it done, and you fold all them clothes, you put it away, and you can't put out an ounce of responsibility.
You can teach him to do that.
No. What I'm saying is that, especially early in the relationship, let's just say you move in together, right? Of course, if you find out that this man doesn't do that, then you're just gonna take it on. You're like, oh, this ain't nothing. I do this, and hey, it's nothing. Now you're gonna wash it, you're gonna fold all the clothes, you're gonna put them away. But it's not until that one day you get tired and frustrated where you start complaining about it. But you didn't start the relationship off like that. So what's your problem?
But that's the whole thing. That's what I'm saying. Just because he didn't do it through his adult life does not mean that a woman, if you are living with this man, the woman cannot say, you know what, baby, I'm going to show you how to do this. Because some days I come in and I'm tired.
Right.
So you have to establish that you do get tired, just like he gets tired.
But be honest, a lot of women don't. So they end up doing it. They're killing themselves. They're doing their normal day-to-day jobs. They got all this, and they like, damn, I just wish I could.
And now you got to lay flat on your back so he can lay pipe. Nah.
First off, Tony, come on. That's why I said sometimes we got to cut men some slack. Because what I just explained to you is that the way you start off the relationship is how it's going to continue. So it was cute. I'll wash your clothes, boo. I'll fold your socks and fold your drawers. You done got tired of the nasty ass drawers. Nikki, you shitted in them drawers. I seen the skid marks last night. It ain't cute no more. That's why I said you got to stop being cute in the beginning.
Let me say hello to Brandon Bell, Brandon Bell Joyner, who has joined our conversation. He writes, most women don't know how to keep a man. They aren't being raised like they used to unless they are from the South. They think the idea of marriage, but not the work of it. Okay, let me go back over that.
They like the idea of marriage.
I'll explain. He's basically saying that most of the women from the South come up with moral values. They understand how things should go, and they operate within that. But a lot of women don't operate within those roles, but they still think that they should be treated a certain way.
Yeah. But what does the South have to do with it?
Well, because it's like that Southern Belle type stuff. The women.
I was raised that way. I wasn't from the South.
Respect of a man. Huh?
I wasn't from the South. I was raised that way.
But your mother
just
was.
Basically brought up the
my mother was.
Instilled in women from the South.
Yeah, my mother was. You're right, Yvonne. Let's see. So here's Angela's comment about what the man's role is. No, correct me if I'm wrong. Paying bills, washing clothes, and etc. I think that's what she's referring to because I let the comments go up. I'm sorry. Let's see. Janae Buck. Hi, Janae.
What up, Janae?
She says partnership equals teamwork in the home, raising the children together, providing together, treating the marriage as a partnership and not a dictatorship. both parties should bring 100% to the table. I have to agree with that.
I agree with your name.
That was very clear and concise.
And
Very
to be honest with you, I completely agree with her. The only problem is it becomes a dictatorship when somebody's not doing their job. So when the man's not doing his job, the woman gonna step up and she gonna start running the show. She gonna start voicing her opinion. Same with the man. And that's where stuff starts getting confusing.
Okay. Yes, sir.
But you know what I was actually going to say before she actually posted that comment, and I'm glad she did, because to be honest with you, some of our views and the way we do things has to change. So even when I was telling you, a woman washing clothes and all that kind of stuff, we got to get off of that. At the end of the day, every relationship is going to be different. So if a man is washing clothes in this relationship but not washing clothes in that relationship, we can't judge him, because obviously there's a system that they have that they're comfortable with. And the first thing you want to do is just not pay attention to what other people are doing.
Right.
Because whatever your system is, it's working for you guys. But the moment you try to incorporate somebody else's, that's when it's an issue. You bring up problem. Like I said, that was the biggest mistake I've ever made.
Yeah, because the first thing you say is to your mate is, well, so-and-so does this, how come you don't?
Hold on, watch this. I'm going to give you a prime story. Where I got so mad and I felt like I had the worst relationship ever from this moment. Me and my boys, we getting ready to go fishing. The homie's telling me, hey, come to my house. We're going to leave early, and then we're going to go out. We're going to hit the lake. We're going to be out there around 5, 6 in the morning. I'm like, cool. I get to my boy house. I see his wife running around, making lunches, putting stuff together for all the fellas. And I was thinking to myself, my wife still asleep in the bed. She would have been doing nothing for my friend. I wouldn't have even got a Snickers. And I was mad. Like, I was so mad about it, because I'm like, first of all, what letter did he write to her to get her doing this?
But you know what? It comes with what Jonay was saying. Yeah. She was saying that's why you have to establish that in the partnership in the very beginning.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's what Chris said. When started, the way going.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah. But Jonay says, no, you never compare.
And you shouldn't. And you shouldn't. And that's why, like I said, and I say excuses, but at the same time, I really want women to start being more stronger within how they're dealing with men. So when you're starting off this relationship with a man, cut off all the bullshit.
Right.
Get the right questions out. And like I said, I always tell people, the first question you should be asking is, what's your relationship with your mom and your dad? You will learn a lot about what you're getting ready to deal with based off how they respond to that.
Yeah.
You're right.
You're right. Wow.
Get those questions out the way.
Dang, this show went by quick. We only have, 8 minutes? 8 minutes? Oh my God. This bit went by really, really quick. But
we didn't argue with each other.
Huh?
And we didn't argue with each other. I'm so proud of you.
Oh,
yeah. Hey,
so at this time I do,
2020, we have a clear vision now.
Yeah, just wait till June when we 6 months in and retired. And like, what the hell he say? What she say?
No, but I'll be honest with you, and this is one of the reasons why I get excited about working with you ladies. You continue to show growth. Like, this is the problem with most of society. We learn things, and then we get to a certain point where we just stick with our same mindset. Yeah. And you ladies are continuing to want to learn and understand certain things. And this is the reason why your life is going the way it is. It's going good. You're continuing to get better opportunities.
So, Chris, are we learning? Are you saying we're learning things and growing from what you give us?
I will say that you're not learning from just what I'm giving you, but at the same time, you're starting to look at even your own situations. And I don't mean just like you personally, but just in women.
I've looked at my own situation for a long time. Mm-hmm. And, the best person to teach me is myself.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And when I can I think I'm my own worst enemy, really, because I really judge myself hard. And when I see that I am not doing what I need to do within myself, except get on a diet and stick to it.
There's a lot of people tripping off of that one. Don't you?
Yeah.
Let's slide that on to the left.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I do. I try to change my way of thinking,
Mhm.
and I know I am a work in progress. I've got a
We all
lot of
are.
things I need to do.
Yeah.
And that because where I came from, I have done a 180-degree turn because yeah, or
How we do that? Like,
160
show
or
me how we do
whatever it
that.
is, 360. No, that's
360 is taking you back where you
Oh,
were.
you done
Yeah.
came back around. You done
Yeah.
came back
no. Where I used to be to where I am now is it's totally different.
And good
And
for
when
you.
I tell Tony I used to be shy, I used to be shy.
Yeah.
And I have. This is what yeah.
But I'll tell you like this, and this is for men and women. We have to learn to stop victimizing ourselves, making excuses for everything. It's always somebody else's fault. We really have to get out of doing that. I'll tell you right now. When you're in a bad situation, instead of focusing on other people, we need to start with ourselves first and see what we could have did better. And I think if we can start off there, we would eliminate a lot of the problems that we'll continue to run into.
But see, accountability or lack of accountability, that is your biggest enemy.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
It truly is your biggest enemy, because if you can't be accountable for either your successes and your failures or your mishaps and all of these different misunderstandings and relationships, and knowing how to take accountability for your part, then there is no growth. You know,
right.
Continue to blame someone else. There is no growth.
You know, I was dating this guy, and he was, we went down. We went down. I was so mad when I finally broke away from him. I was so mad at him. All I wanted to do was, I was just pissed off at him. And I'm like, how could he do this to me? How could, and I was driving in my car, and this, I don't know, voice or whatever you want to call it, said, why are you blaming him? He could do no more to you than you allowed him.
Than you allowed. That's true.
And that's when I first had my realization that I'm the one that I should be that allowed the things that happened to happen. I could have stopped him. I could have left.
Yeah, you could have stopped him. I mean, and that is the biggest key, is that if we don't understand a deeper self.
Right.
If we don't understand how to go deeper within ourselves, and if you have to take yourself back and look at, how you were raised, and you feel that it wasn't, the way you should have been raised or something like that, you still have to take accountability for what you plan to do after that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You have.
I think if anything, and this is where it all begins, at some point within yourself, you have to know what you want, what is acceptable and what is not acceptable.
Exactly.
If we're talking about a relationship, those boundaries need to be established right from the
beginning. Up front.
But to be honest with you, before even the relationship, you need to actually ask yourself those questions and know that before you bring somebody else in. Because the problem is you can't fix nothing once you've already been doing it for so long, because people get accustomed. And one thing I will say about older folk, ain't no changing them. They set in their ways. They've been doing it for years. They ain't gonna change now.
Well, how old are you talking?
I would say after about,
watch it.
I would say after about 35, 36, up into your early 40s, you have been doing what you've been wanting to do and been getting away with it. And you're not going to allow anybody else to tell you that it's wrong, because you've been doing it for years. So you're going to continue to do it. And if they're not okay with it, they can go.
But the strange thing is that I think we all go through like a rebirthing process, if that makes sense.
No, I see what you're saying.
I think like for me and Yvonne's age, our age group, we're starting to see things that were not as clear in our 40s or in our 30s.
Right.
You see them differently now, and you understand how to cope with things. You understand how to work through things. You don't get yourself riled up about things, because still, again, like Yvonne has said, you have to go back and say, well, maybe I was the problem. And then there's the rebirthing thing that goes on.
Well, watch this, and I'll tell you something that my dad said, and I didn't want to agree with it. But to be honest with you, he was 100% right. And some people probably gonna get offended by it. Us young folks sometimes are very dumb. We can get some advice from some much mature people, and we want to be right. We think we know it all and all that kind of stuff.
Right fighters.
We need to understand that there are some people that have gone through this, have been through these type of situations, and we need to learn how to listen. Yeah. We need to, and one thing I always tell people, it's not hard to listen. You can do it effortlessly.
We're doing it now.
The moment you walk away, it is your decision to decide whether you're going to hold on to that and apply it to your life, or if you're going to discard it. But you should never be to the point where you just feel like, I don't need nobody to tell me nothing, I got it and all that. Because that's when, like you said, Tony, you stop growing.
Yeah, you do. You do. Want to say hey to Miss Kathleen. Hold on. Hey to Miss Kathleen, because I know we're going to be ending the show soon, and she just joined us. Good to see you, ma'am. She said in many cultures, hang on, let me put it up. In many cultures, dowries are given and matchmakers are chosen or choose the spouse for the family. You're right. You are right. You're right. Stephanie says, amen. I think that's what we were talking about. Amen.
Well, look, I was going to tell you something, and I'm challenging you ladies on this as well. I learned something about a week ago where it really hit home, and it kind of molded me to understand what I need to start doing better within myself. A lot of times, and you have to understand, this is an opinionated society. Everybody has their opinions. And we're so quick to sometimes tell people they're wrong or I don't agree and blah, blah, blah. And we lose sight of understanding the angle from what that person's perception was to make them say that. And a lot of times we don't need to tear people down or tell people, no, I don't agree with that. That's not right. Sometimes we need to just sit back and say, oh, okay, I've never looked at it from that standpoint, but okay, because we have to understand that's that person's opinion. And maybe we haven't seen it from that angle, but we have to stop being so quick to tell people they're wrong or I don't agree with that, because opinions are pretty much what we're built to have.
Well, opinions sometimes are really loosely based on experiences. You know, so when people have opinions, it's usually based on something that they might have experienced. Either they've, gone through it physically, emotionally, or they've heard it. So that's where opinions come from, We're over.
Where did you go right now?
I don't know.
And she got stuck. She did a whole 3 seconds.
Because I was looking at the clock.
Yvonne, so she'd have switched over from yawning to Go back to the yawning. We okay with that. We ain't even gonna knock that no more.
So anyway, we are out of time. We are out of time. Oh my gosh. So I really want to say thank you to everyone who had joined us. There's so many of you, I can't even go back and mention your names, but I think you know who you are. Again, I mentioned that become a loyal listener to Hot Topics Talk Radio TV or to Real World News TV. And then next week, upcoming again, Man to Man. When you become a loyal listener, like Miss Jacqueline, and I'm seeing you all the time.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm going to send you some HTTR network merchandise. It could be a t-shirt.
You deserve it, boo-boo.
It could be sweatshirt, coffee cups, cell phone covers. It could be anything.
Some pens.
Yeah. No, I don't like pens.
It
You
definitely
get
ain't gonna
pens
be
everywhere.
Oh, it depends on what kind they are. Because if they're the kind that I like the big with the fine point, you can send those.
Hey, Yvonne, I swear I'm right there with you. I love me some good pens.
You too?
So
Oh,
now
Yes.
I'm gonna have
And
to.
I get mad every time somebody try to steal it.
yes.
You know what? I'm gonna see if I can actually add the cross pen set
That'd be dope.
to the merchandise. Get you guys some really good pens. I don't want cheap pens. I don't like cheap pens. So
First, she got a promotion. Got a promotion. Now she's
Right?
spending money. No.
Diamond Lil over here.
But no, but I, you know what, I appreciate, how people support what we do. And I just want them to know that we appreciate it by sending them things, so
Right.
Become a loyal listener. I see you and Yvonne and Chris sees you every week, that's what's going to happen. We like to reward people who are loyal to us. All right. Hey, Dana Butler.
You know what? Actually, what we should do is have a drawing.
Nice. That's what we should do. But I'll be honest with you, just out of respect for Jacqueline,
I'm not talking about
we'll do a drawing after.
Yeah.
I know.
Drawing. Just have, everybody put the name in there, and maybe once a month we have a drawing and see what comes up.
Let's do that.
I agree. That'd be really
Are
nice.
you guys down with that? The folks that are watching, are you guys down for a drawing every month? I want to see some.
Let's make it clear. Just because your ass watches the show, we talk about the ones that make comments. You might watch the show every week. Some of y'all are stalkers.
They watch, but we can't tell they're watching if they don't comment.
That's right.
I mean, we see the numbers at the end, but we just ain't seen your name.
Exactly, because it'd be like, 300, 400 people watching, and it's like we see 5, 10 people comment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Stephanie's down for that. David's down for that. Stephanie's always on. Stephanie's a sponsor. She can't win anything.
Yeah.
Stephanie, boo, I ain't gonna let them hate on you. You go, girl. You paying for us, okay?
Stephanie, come on to make sure that we mention that, mention her business. That's if she's checking on us.
Make sure our lights don't get cut off. You keep it going, boo boo. I don't like being laid off. This happened to me before. I don't want no pig slip.
All right.
That's why I drink now, hoping it don't happen.
This is what happens when Chris drinks. I'm gonna drink next week.
First of all, this
I'm
happens to
gonna
me
watch
all day.
So let's all have a cocktail during the show next week.
Y'all just started that? Hey, the show I go by without a good one.
We noticed.
I don't need you to say that. I go to my meetings.
Don't say that over here. Somebody might take that serious.
Okay, look. Don't take it serious because it's punk ass society, the way we take things so personal. Bottom line,
Next thing you know, people will be having comments sometime about, did you know Chris in rehab? There you go. Here, crack me, girl.
Hey, I'll be honest with you. It wouldn't be the worst compared to what some people are saying about me.
Okay. So what are they saying, Chris?
Hey, Yvonne, you know the process that I'm in right now. I got to be good.
Oh,
I got to be a good
okay.
All right, so we're going to get out of here because we could go on forever.
Yeah.
Chris is going to be coming back with a wrap up on his page, so check him out. He always wraps up the show for us, gives us a synopsis and gives us his view while he's finishing off his drink. So head on over to Chris Smith's page. Head on over to watch Chris Smith's HTTR-TV wrap up. But thank you so much for joining us tonight. We really do appreciate it. We have a lot of fun here, and I'm hoping that you do too. Make sure that you come back here every Wednesday night. The show always starts at 8 o'clock p.m. Pacific, 10 o'clock Central, and 11 o'clock on the East Coast. For those who do not follow us, please do so by following us on Facebook under Hot Topics Talk Radio. I don't know if it's Hot Topics Talk Radio TV. No, it's just Hot Topics Talk Radio. Also, make sure that you go on over to our website at hottopictalkradio.com. Check out some of the past shows. Catch up on, what we've done in the past to where we are now. Also, go to the HTTR Network store so that you can check out the merchandise. See what you're going to be, winning here.
May win.
Possibly. We ain't talking about y'all one-timers. Y'all ain't getting in the pot.
Well, if they want to enter the drawing,
keep it 100. Be on this show, make about 3 or 4 shows, and we'll think about it.
We won't even know.
Okay, so let's do it this way. Chris, I'm going to make you in charge of setting up the drawing. Okay.
Because like I said, you know what I told y'all. The show keep going up.
You know what? Yvonne, I'm going to make you in charge of the drawing.
No, we're going to make Chris in charge of the drawing.
Look, I love how she did that, Yvonne, because she's going to make the regular listeners mad at me if I pick the wrong one. I see how you doing this right now. You protected your sister, too.
Oh, my gosh. So, Janae says she just followed us. Thank you, Janae. That is so great. Great. Make sure that you share, share our shows with your friends and your family and coworkers and all that. Put it on your Facebook page. We love the help. But we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Next week, Man to Man returns with Chris Smith and Richard Hall. Oh, boy. That's going to be fun.
Hold on, I'm gonna tell you something. That show is like this show, but you're not getting the female perspective. It's nothing but 2 males, maybe even 3, because I said I have some people coming on that I want to join in. Remember, I told you I have a boy that I want you to check out. So I hope it's not Dion. What'd you say? I told Richard, I said, look, if you don't mind, let's bring on one of my boys next week and let's see what he's working with. And I'll be honest with you. I think you guys are going to be very happy. I honestly believe that. And we're going to represent us.
So how the hell we got to show Yvonne on a man's show and we can't even be a part of it?
I know. Huh?
Well, I'll tell you like this. It would be a fun show if you ladies actually joined in on this one week. I would truly.
1 week.
First of all, y'all couldn't even handle what Richard got on the show one night.
Oh, see, challenge. I see this coming on. This is going to be a challenge.
It's a lot easier to beat up on one.
Oh, Jacqueline likes Dion. Look what Jacqueline wrote up there.
She said, don't put Dion on.
Miss Jacqueline, I have more integrity for myself. I would not start a show, put on the show where I'm starring my man. He done messed his own self up.
Yeah, Dion would get dragged. Because then that's the day that I will not sit behind the scene and behind the board. And I'll be with my big ass face right there.
Now listen here, listen here, women. Y'all gonna let that go. Okay? That's family. Y'all gonna let that go. I told you the boy was wrong. We ain't gonna keep bringing his name up every week.
Dion. Oh, let me stop. He might pop up.
Hey, keep acting like that. He gonna drop the TLD in later on tonight. You fuck with people you don't even know. You better be careful. Man down. Don't.
Man down.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Make sure that you come on back here next week on Wednesday night. Again, the show starts all the time at 8 o'clock, sometimes 8 o'clock p.m. Pacific, 10 o'clock Central, and 11 o'clock on the East Coast. You guys have been a blast tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for your continued support. And we will see you back here next week on Hot Topics Talk Radio TV with Yvonne Baker, Chris Smith, and me, Tony Breedlove. Good night, everybody.
Good night, ladies. I love you. Great show.
Love you. Good night. Great show.
Great.